Today we're going to turn some styrofoam shapes from the dollar store, the eggs, and the bunnies into stone. So for that, you're going to need some white chalk paint, some charcoal gray Rit Dye, some baking soda, a styrofoam block, a skewer, containers, and later you'll see black Rit Dye and some table salt. So go ahead and empty your baking soda into the container. And I used about 1/4 cup. Then you're going to take whatever you're going to stir with. I used a popsicle stick. And knock down all of the chunks. So just get that mixed up. And then you're going to add your Rit Dye. You can do this before or after you add the paint. I did it before. It doesn't really matter. Make sure you shake it first. And you'll see that I started with about 1/2 capful. And then just give it a quick stir. Always put your lid back on your dye. That is a mess to clean up. Give it a quick stir. And then you're going to add about 1/3 cup of white chalk paint. My can is looking pretty gross. Then give that a good stir. It wasn't quite dark enough, so I ended up adding another little bit of the charcoal gray dye. You'll see that this effect will happen in steps. So we're starting with the lightest color first, and you can see that it kind of has a little bit thicker than chalk paint consistency. So go ahead and take your dowel rod, not your dowel rod, your skewer, and add your bunny on top. Then you're just going to take I actually decided it was easier to hold it there. You're going to take a paintbrush and just cover your bunny with the mixture that you made. And you can see that it really is giving it a light gray kind of finish. Cover your bunny, cover your egg, as many as you'd like. This covers several. Then you're going to take a second container and you're going to take some of your paint that you've already mixed and add it to the second container. Couple tablespoons. Then to that, you're going to add some black Rit Dye. And you'll notice that the black is a lot more pigmented than the charcoal gray. So go ahead and add your Rit Dye and get that all stirred up really well. And you can see the difference in the colors right there. So now we're going to take a makeup sponge and we're going to use this to apply our second color. So go ahead and dip it in. Offload some because you don't want huge globs. Then pounce it onto your bunny. And you can see the bunny kind of changing color right before your eyes. I used the thin side to kind of get behind the bunny's ears, and that worked really well. Do the same with your egg. Then you're going to want to take a car wash sponge, and I just tore mine so that I would have the added texture. And in a third container, you're going to take the second color you made, so the one that you just used, and you're going to add some to the container. Then you want to add Rit Dye again, so we're kind of stepping up the color here. And you'll notice that your paint is starting to get a little more watery as you add the Rit Dye, but we need to up the texture for making them kind of stone or concrete. So next here, we're going to take just some plain old table salt and add that. probably about a tablespoon or two, and get that mixed up really good with your paint. And you'll have kind of like a sandy, chalky, still paintable mixture. Get it mixed in. And then you're going to use your car wash sponge that you tore to, there you can see the difference in color. You're going to use your car wash sponge to add the next layer onto your little styrofoam bunny and egg. And by using the car wash sponge, you're able to kind of get some of that salt in there, whereas it wouldn't stick very well just with the makeup sponge. So here you can kind of see a real variation in color starting to happen. So go ahead and cover your bunny. And I poked the skewer through there, so I had to give it extra little bit on top. Look how cute that looks. And then go ahead and set it to dry. And pounce your egg with this last mixture that is has the table salt added to it. You can see it's already starting to look kind of stony or concrete-like. It has a really nice matte finish since we used the chalk paint, and the salt and the baking soda add some really cool texture and definitely take away from the fact that it began as styrofoam. Look how cool that looks. We're going to add one finishing touch, a little bit of tricorn black Sherwin-Williams sample paint, just a little squeeze, along with a squirt of water. And I always keep my water in a squirt bottle where I paint, just so I don't have to run back and forth. Then you're going to take a toothbrush. First I swished it around and kind of mixed it together. Then you're going to take a toothbrush and dip it in there. And just speckle your egg. I got better at this as I kind of went on. Further away is a little bit better if it's super wet, but try to offload some of that for bigger splotches. But get it all over your egg. Stones are dirty, so it worked out okay. And now do your bunny. And this makes a mess, so over a trash can or like a puppy pad or something like that would be great. I kind of speckled everything within speckling distance there. And there's our bunny. And set them to dry. How do they look? Pretty darn good, right? I would have gone in with a paintbrush and kind of got those eyes a little bit better, probably. And then there you go, our concrete bunnies and eggs.